This conference will now be recorded.
चतुर्मुख समारंभां वाग्भटाचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् रागादिरोगान् सततानुषक्तान् अशेषकाय प्रसृतान् अशेषान् औत्सुक्यमोहारदिदान् जघान यो पूर्ववैद्याय नमोऽस्तु तस्मै. Namaskaram to all of you. We will continue with maybe the last couple of or 2-3 slokas of Dravyadi Vidnyani. The one on the left side, Rasam Vipagastau Vidyam Prabhavasthanyapohadi Palasamye Rasadinam Iti Naisargigam Balam. That we discussed in our last session. So today we will go to the next part. Rasadi Samye Yat Karma Vishishtam Tat Prabhavajam. Rasadi Samye Yat Karma Vishishtam Tat Prabhavajam. That is the text. So this could be the last principle that we saw in the beginning as an avayava of any dravya according to the Ashtankridaya. It is rasam, gunam, viryam, vipagam, and then prabhava. So one among the 5 avayavas of a dravya. Let us see what is explained here. Rasadi samye yad karma vishishtam tad prabhavajam. Rasadi samye yat karma vishishta tad prabhavajam. So the word used here is prabhavaja, prabhavajam, not prabhavam. So here again, it is not an answer, direct answer to the question, what is prabhavam? But it is an indirect mentioning. Rasadi samye, when there is rasadi samya, yad karma vishishtam, yad, whatever karma is there as vishishtam. Vishishtam means not samanyam. Tad karma, that karma is prabhavajam, is jam, born out of. So prabhavajam, born out of prabhava. So when there is rasa adi samyam, and when one vishishta karma is evident, then we propose that the vishishta karma is born out of, is caused by prabhava. We will see the meaning of this statement. Rasadi samyam. Samyam, samanata, samanyam, similar. When there is similarity of rasa, etc., rasadi, rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, vishishtam karma. Karma is not samya, samam. It is Vishishtam. So that is a puzzling point, puzzling situation. Generally, when there is a karma, we try to explain it with this is caused by its rasa. That is what we were seeing earlier. Sometimes we say that, okay, this is because of its vipaka. Or some other times we may be saying that this is because of its Vaidya. Like that, isn't it? But there is a Vishishta karma which cannot be explained by uh, these rasadi factors. Then we attribute such a karma to the capacity of prabhava. This is prabhavajam. That is the word meaning of this sloka. Now we will see something extra about this. Generally, the word meaning of prabhavam is strength, efficacy, brilliance, or splendor, valor. All these are the meanings of prabhav. We can take all these meanings together as something like a sum total of all these meanings when we discuss prabhavam in our context, that is Ayurveda. We find this term used in many situations, like sometimes we find dravya prabhavam, sometimes we find dosha prabhavam or vyadhi prabhavam, all these things, guna prabhavam. Hmm. So I think all these meanings are used in Ayurveda in some situation or the other. But I think to get a clear idea about what is Vipagam, we need to look at other textbooks as well. For example, if you look at Charaka Samhita, we will find Rasavirya Vipagana, Charakam Sutrasthanam, 26th chapter. Rasavirya Vipaganam Samanyam Yatra Likshyate Vishesha Karmanam Chaiva Prabhavastasya Sasmritaha. So here we find some sort of a definition. Rasavirya Vipaganam Samanyam Yatra Likshyate. Yatra Rasavirya Vipaganam Samanyam Likshyate Karmanam Visheshaha cha. Karmanam Visheshaha cha. Then Saha Tasya Prabhavaha Eva iti Smritaha. Then we assume that it is its Prabhava only. It is its Prabhava only. Again, I think the idea is not becoming very lucid or very clear. Here Charaka says, in a situation where we find rasa, virya, vipakas are in tune with each other, but there is a special karma which cannot be explained by this rasa, virya, vipaka, then we assume that there is a prabhava in that dravya which made that dravya capable of doing that karma. Okay, we need some examples to explain this. See, in the Ashtanga Hridaya, we find some examples. Dandi rasadhyastulyavi chitragasya virejani madhugasya cha mrudviga kridam kshirasya deepanam. Dandi rasadhyastulyavi chitragasya virejani madhugasya cha mrudviga kridam kshirasya deepanam. We will look into these examples. Dandi rasadyaihi chitrakasya tulya api virejani. That is the First line, Dandi Rasadhyaihi Chitragasya Tulya Api Tadu Virechani. Dandi Virechani. See, when you look at the Rasa, Guna, Virya and Vipaka of Dandi, it is similar. There is Samyam with the Rasa, Guna, Virya and Vipaka of Chitraka. They are same in Rasa, Guna, Virya and Vipaka. But as expected, Chitraka may be working as a Urdhvagama Dravya because it is Agni Pavanotkada. The Dravya is Agni Pavanotkada. Dravyam Urdhvagamam Tatra Prayaha Agni Pavanotkadam. So there is karma is also similar to the Rasadi factors. It is not a Vishishta karma. But when you look at Dandi, it is an Agneya Dravya, Agni Pavanotkada Dravya. So it is supposed to be Vamana, Dravya, but it is a Virejana Dravya. In effect, it is a Virejana Dravya. So there is a Vishishta karma, which is not explainable by means of its Rasa, Guna, Virya or Vipaka. Then we say that it is the Prabhava of Dandi which made it Virejana. Similarly, Rasadhyaihi Mridviga Madhukasya Tulya Abhi Virejani. Mridviga Rasadhyaihi Madhukasya Tulya Api Virejani. Kritam Rasadhyaihi Kshirasya Tulya Api Deepanam. Kritam Rasadhyaihi Kshirasya Tulya Api Deepanam. These are the three examples what we find here. Sometimes these examples are generally given for making an idea clearer. But these examples given sometimes makes the examples make a confusion. What is the confusion? Generally, there is a trend of explaining this as Dandi is having a prabhava when compared with the Chitraka. Similarly, Mridviga is having a prabhava when compared with the Mathuga. Actually, that notion itself is some problem is there in that example, which I think we will not discuss at this point. Similarly, Kritam is having a prabhava when compared with the Kshiram. Then there is a question. So does it mean that Chitragam is having no prabhavam, or Madhugam is having no prabhavam, or Kshiram is having no prabhavam? It is quite natural. That question or that doubt is quite natural. If the answer is yes, that means yes, Chitragam is having. Chitragam does not have any prabhavam. Or similarly, yes, Madhukam is having no prabhavam, or Kshiram has no prabhavam. Then I think the entire conceptual framework what we were making so far will collapse. Because we were saying that Dravyam is having 5 constituent parts in it: Rasam, Gunam, Viryam, Vipagam and Prabhavam. We generalized it, Samanyatah. But then at one point you say that no, Chitragam is having no Vipagam. sorry, prabhavam, or mridviga is, madhugam is having no prabhavam, or kshiram is having no prabhavam, then I think there will be many dravyas which are having no prabhavam. Then I think there will be no logic in accepting prabhavam as a universal principle. So it is not like that. Prabhavam is not a comparative principle. That notion behind prabhava is not comparative. That is very important. In Ashtanga Sangraha, we will find many examples given. Many examples. See, for example, in Charagam also. In Charagam also. See, in Charagam we find Visham Vishaghna Muktam Yad Tat Prabhavaha. Visham Vishaghna Muktam. In Sthavara Visha, Jangama Visham is Chikitsa. Or in Jangama Visha, Sthavara Visham is Chikitsa. It is an observation. It is written. Aptopadesha. We may not be very familiar with its application, but it is a Aptopadesha. But there is no comparison. Here it is told that Visham is having a Prabhavam, which is Vishaghnatvam. So there is no comparison in it. Similarly, there will be many other examples given. The Rakshogna property of money, that is Prabhavam. There is no comparison. There is Vishaghnatvam of Shirisham. There is no comparison given. So it is not about comparing between two dravyas, but it is by its own. By its own, it's having a prabha. So then what is the Rasadi Tulyata? Rasadi Tulyata is all about some sort of a similarity in the initiation of each of these principles in a dravya at the time of its formation. When we consider this Kridam or Dandi, at the time of its formation, there is a similarity between its own principle, its principles within Rasa, similarly Vipaka, similarly Virya, similarly Gunas. Then there is a Samyam. But with that Samana Gunata, Sajadiya Gunata, you cannot explain this Vishishta Karma. That is how we have to understand this Rasadi Samye Yat Karma Vishishtam Tat Prabhavajam. It is not about comparison of two dravyas. That is very important. We will find many beautiful examples and discussions in this regard in various textbooks, which are important. Say for example in Chitraka, what is its prabhava? Chitrakam has got many other prabhavas sometimes. One striking example could be, it is Medhyam. Chitrakam is Medhyam. That Medhya property of Chitraka is a prabhava. It cannot be explained by its Rasa, Guna, Virya or Vipaka. Similarly, everything. I don't know why Vakbhada made such a statement like this. See, Madhugasya cha Mridviga. Mridviga Rasadyehi Madhugasya Tulya. Both are Bhumitoya Gunadhigam, maybe. So they are, both of them are supposed to be Adhogami. And Madhugam is, so Mridviga is Adhogami, Madhugam is Urdhvagami. So actually that Vishishta Karma is done by Madhuga, not by Mridviga. Still, I do not know how such an example came in Vagbhada's Ashtanga Hridaya. Anyway, there could be some manipulations that might have happened in its commentary writing or something like that. Forget about it. Now, uh, we will move forward. I hope that idea of Prabhava is clear here. We can find many examples. Say to quote a few, uh, Shirishadi Vishamhandi or Manimandraushadhinam Yat Karma Vividhatmagam Shalyaharana Pumjanma Rakshayurdhivashadigam. Or sometimes Darshanadyairabi Visham Yan Niyachadi Cha Agadaha. Certain Agadas has got the capacity of Vishaharatvam even by just seeing it. We find such explanations. So all these things are Prabhavajam. Tacha Prabhavajam Sarvam. Tacha Prabhavajam Sarvam. So I hope that idea is clear. And this Prabhavam can be seen explained as Ajintyam. Ajintyam does not mean that, okay, this should not be discussed or debated or should not be thought about. It is not like that. But this cannot be explained by Rasaguna Vidya Vipakas. That's all. That Ajintyada. The tools for Chinda in a Dravya Karma is Rasaguna Vidya Vipaka. The tools for Chindanam of a Dravya is Rasaguna Vidya Vipaka. That is what we have learned so far. But there can be certain karmas which cannot be undergone or subjected for chindanam with these rasa, guna, virya and vipaka. Then we say that there is another principle called prabhava. So achindyam does not mean that you have to stop thinking about it. It is not like that. All these points are open for thinking at any time. Otherwise, we will find that, okay, once it is written in the Samhita, I think the all human beings should stop thinking about it. It is not like that. It cannot be explained or it cannot be subjected to exploration using the four principles which we have discussed so far. Okay. Then, moving further, uh, we find that, say somewhat about the last part of the slogan, iti samanyata karma. Iti samanyata karma. This is how the karma of dravya samanyataha. Iti samanyata karma. This is the way in which the samanya karma of a dravya is to be understood. It is to be understood. Then punascha tad विचित्र प्रत्ययारब्ध द्रव्य भेदेन भिद्यते. पुनश्च तद विचित्र प्रत्ययारब्ध द्रव्य भेदेन भिद्यते. This samanya karma, what we have seen so far using various principles explained in different methods, can bhidyate, change, can change, can be of a different type. Bhidyate. How? Vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya bhedena. Vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya bhedena. When there is vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya bhedam, there is a difference. Vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya bhedam. Due to bhedena, due to the difference that is happening because of Vijitra Pratyayarabdhada, this can, whatever we have discussed so far, can change. Vidyate. Whatever we have discussed so far can change. We don't find such a statement in any of the other textbooks, Sushrutam or Charaka Samhita, or even in Ashtanga Sangraham, we don't find such a direct statement. Idi samanyata karma द्रव्यादीनां पुनश्च तद् विचित्रप्रत्ययारब्ध द्रव्यभेदेन भिद्यते. So there is a question, what is Vijitra Pratyayarabdha Bhedam? Vijitra Pratyayarabdha Bhedam, Dravya Bhedam means the Bhedam in a Dravyam which is Vijitra Pratyayarabdham. Bhedam in a Dravyam which is Vijitra Pratyayarabdham. Again, we need to explain. What is Bhedam? Bhedam means the difference. Dravyam, Dravyam. Vijitra Pratyayarabdham. There are three words. Vijitra, Pratyayam, Arabdham. Vijitram, Vishishtam. Vishishtam. Pratyayam, Karanam. Karanam. Arabdham, Arabdham, begun, commenced. That is Arabdham. So a Dravyam, if it is Vijitra Pratyayarabdham, there can be a change from whatever we have explained in the case of a Samanya Dravyam. Then what is the case of Samanya Dravyam? It is Samana Pratyayarabdha Dravyam. It is Samana Pratyayarabdha Dravyam. So at this point, Vagbhada is making a big line to divide dravyas into two categories. One category is Samana Pratyayarabdha Dravyam and the other one is Vijitra Pratyayarabdha Dravyam. Vijitra Pratyayarabdha Dravyam. So we have to understand what does it mean or what is the Vichitrada. See, any drug, any dravya, not a drug, any dravya commences or begins to manifest with a peculiar type of arrangement of dravyas within, arrangement of bhudas within. Any dravya begins its existence with a peculiar type of, unique type of arrangement. That is how we started. Tattukshmamadhishthaya jayade ambuyonyagnipavan nabhasam samavayataha tannirvrittihi visheshascha. That is what we saw in the beginning itself. But during this process of combining the Panchabhutas in a peculiar manner so as to begin the manifestation, nirvritti, of a dravya, there will be peculiar types of pagas happening within. A paga which is responsible for the dravya as a whole. Then within the dravya, again peculiar type of paga which is bringing its rasa. Peculiar type of paga which is bringing its Vipaka, Virya, various gunas like Snigdhata, Gauravam, or Lakhavam, or Rukshata, whatever it is, all those things. Then there could be a peculiar Pagam which is giving its Viryam. All this Pagam, which is Agni Karma, is a Karanam for that Dravya Nirvritti. Is a Karanam. Here the Karanam is the Pratyayam. So they are all known as Pratyayas. There are different Pratyayas, each one for resulting in the manifestation of a particular principle. When there is some sort of a Sajadiyata among the various Pratyayas involving in the nirvritti of a Dravya, such a Dravya is known as Samana Pratyaya Arabdham. A Dravyam which is Arabdham, which is just begun to manifest by Samana Pratyaya, a set of Pratyayas which are Sajadiyam, Samanam. So a Samana Pratyayarabdha Dravya means it has all the principles within it which are all caused by different pratyayas of pagas, but all those pagas are sajadiya. All those pagas are sajadiya. Then, if there is a rebel pratyayam in a dravya, in its manifestation, when it is begun, arabdham. So rasa will be there, its pratyaya is there, peculiar paga vishesha, with a peculiar combination of the Panchabhutas. Vipaga is there, there is a peculiar pratyaya, paga vishesha, causing that vipaga, mixing the bhudas in a peculiar manner. Then there are different gunas, then there is virya. So among these different pratyayas, if there is no sajadiyada, there is something which has gone out of the loop, gone out of that group, then that dravya can be called as, okay, this is a dravya which is having a vishishta pratyaya in its arambham, which has a vishishta pratyaya in its arambham. That vishishtada made it quite different. To show that difference, we say vishishtam as vichitram. So a dravya which is having at least one pratyayam which is vichitram in its arambham, such a dravya is known as vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya. Such a dravya is known as vichitra pratyayarabdha dravyam. So here we find that whatever we have discussed so far, including its karma, is based on samana pratyayarabdha dravya. So what is the advantage? If you get an idea about one principle in a dravya, you can predict or assume the remaining principles somewhat correctly. Somewhat correctly. madhura rasam, which is easy to understand. Okay, you taste it and this is madhura rasam. So in a samana pratyayarabdha dravya, it will be madhura vibhagam, it will be shida viryam, it will be snigdham, it will be having the peculiar type of karma which is specific to madhura rasa. So from the rasa you are able to make out somewhat correct assessment about the rest of the properties of that dravya, samana pratyayarabdha. But if it is vichitra pratyayarabdha, vidyate. Vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya bhetena, by the cause of bhedena, the cause of the difference that is happening because of the vichitra pratyaya arabdhada of a dravya. This capacity or this possibility of understanding a dravya with a straight linear equation goes wrong. Vidyade. To make this idea clear, Vagbhara gives couple of examples. What are they? Swadur guruscha godhumo vadajit vadakrit yavaha. Here we find two karmas given as examples. Two dravyas. One is vadakrit, one is vadajit. One is Vadakrit, one is Vadajit. What is Vadajit? Something which can cause Vada Shamanam. What is it? Godhumaha Vadajit. Godhumaha Vadajit. So we have two things. Godhuma, Dravya. Vadajit, it's karma. While connecting these 2 points, we find that Swaduhu Guruhu cha Godhumaha Vadajit. Swadu Madhuram. Guru, something having Guru Guna. So Godhuma, which is Madhura, and Guru is Vadajit, which is quite a straightforward equation. A Madhura Dravya with Guru Guna should obviously be Vadajit. The remaining factors also we can assume. It will be Snigdha, it will be Shita, it will have many Saumya properties along with it. And it is Vadajit. No wonder, because Godhumam is a Samana Pratyayarabdha Dravya. Now, who is Vadakrit? Yavaha Vadakrit. Yavaha Vadakrit. Then, suppose it is Kadurasa. There is no discussion. Kadurasa Dravya, Vadakrit. Kadu is Vadavarthagam. It will be Ushna. It will be Lekhu. It may be Kadu Vibhaga. And it is Vadakrit. There is no wonder in it. But it is not so. Yava is also Swadu. Yava is also Guru. So Swaduhu Guruhu cha Yavaha Vadakrit. Then there is some problem in it. Then we think about its other principles in it by application. Apply the Yava in the body. See whether it is increasing the Shida Vidyata, whether the Gaurava, whatever things, Snigdhata. Then we find that the more you use Yava, the more Rukshada is building up. Then we assume that, okay, Yava is Ruksha, which is a rebel character. Swaduhu Guruhu cha Yavaha Rukshaha. Swaduhu Guruhu cha Yavaha Rukshaha. So, when the beginning of Yava as a Dravya is considered or envisaged, the different pratyayas which were manifesting to give yava different characteristics. There was a vijatiyata, vaijatyam. The pratyaya, the paga vishesha, karana, which was supposed to begin the guna in yava, was operating. It went out of track and it made the yava ruksha. So there is madhurya, there is shaitya, there is gaurava, but there is no snigdhada. Instead, there is rukshada. So that potent rukshada made yava vada krut. Then we say that as there is a vichitrata in the one of the pratyayas which was causing the arambha of yava, yava should be considered as a vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya. Yava is a vichitra pratyayarabdha dravya. Similarly, ushna malsya payashitam. There are many similarities between malsyam and paya, but both are madhura. Excuse me, just 1 minute. Sorry. Matsyam and paya, both are madhuram, both are guru. All these things are there. But paya is sheetam, which is a result of samana pratyaya, which is a result of samana pratyaya. But malsyam is ushnam, that is a vichitra result of vichitra pratyaya, result of vichitra pratyaya. Kadu simho nasukaraha. Regarding the simha mamsam and sugara mamsam, both are maybe madhura, but simha mamsa is kadu vibhaga. I do not know, because simha mamsam and all these things, they are just taking it from the text as such. Simha mamsam is having kadu vibhagam, sugara mamsam is having madhura vibhaga. Simha kadu, that madhura vibhagatum of sugara mamsam shows that it is born out of a samana pratyayas, whereas simha mamsam is having a vichitra pratyaya in it, which made its vibhagam kadu. So he is opening up the door of a peculiar type of dravyas, where the doors of a room or a cabin or a different world of dravyas, where there is no samana pratyayarabdhada, and hence these dravyas included in this group, they cannot be assessed, or no assessment can be made about those dravyas based on their rasa. In Ashtanga Sangraha or in Charaka Samhila, we find one line, Tasmad rasopadeshena na sarvam dravyamadished. Tasmad rasopadeshena, by knowing the rasa, na sarvam dravyamadished. Don't say about the entire dravya. Don't make conclusions about a dravya just by knowing its rasa. Rasa is supposed to be the superiormost principle, or the most preliminary principle, which helps a Vaidya to make predictions or expectations sometimes, or conclusions sometimes, about what that Dravya will do. But Vagbhara wants. See, in Vichitra Pratyayarabdha type of Dravyas, you cannot make valid conclusions based on rasa. Tasmad rasobhadeshena na sarvam dravyam adished, which is not there in this edition of Ashtanga Hridaya. So with that, we conclude the this chapter Dravyadi Vidnyani. It was a long journey. I know that it was very hectic to follow many a times. Unfortunately, we had a couple of breaks also in between. Anyway, I think we have completed that journey now. I do not know how far it was beneficial, whether I made some simple concepts which were placed in a comfort zone, were dragged out of that comfort zone and made it much complex to understand. All these things, all these possibilities are there, I do admit, but still I think that was a beautiful exploration once again through the Dravyadi Vidnyani. So I think we will conclude this now. Dr. Nilesh may be deciding what will be our next chapter, whether we are going to continue these sessions in the future. All these things will be decided by Nilesh. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for such a wonderful explanation. As rightly said, we had a few breaks in between, but I think the curiosity was not broken by the listeners. So I think it was very much needed and beneficiary for all of us who attended these sessions with you. So I thank you again on behalf of all of us for this. I think this is the 17th session of Dravyadi Vidnyaniam. Thank you, sir, once again. There are few more minutes. If there are any queries, we can take one or two, and then we can conclude, sir.
Fine. That's fine.
So I think, sir, with this we can conclude our today's session. And regarding the future plans, we can discuss it later. And then I will
Yes, yes.
convey to all our listeners, sir.
Yeah, yeah. You can discuss among your group and then
Yes, sir.
let me know. We will do accordingly.
Definitely,
All right. Then
definitely.
Shubharatri to all of you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Shubhrat.